Now, let's really get to the heart of the matter with the person who's probably best placed to tell us what CERN is, why it's important, its main achievements, and also its main challenges. Of course, that person is the Director General of CERN, Fabiola Gianotti, interviewed by journalist Kathy Smith.
Thank you very much indeed. And just good morning, first of all. And what a wonderful place to be, a birthday party on a wet November day. It's a great opportunity to be able to really explore the links between Belgium and CERN. And we are delighted that you are with us, Dr. Gianotti. So you are an experimental particle physicist. You started at CERN in 1996, became the first woman to be Director General in 2016, and you're now coming to the end of your second term. You've got one more year anyway. I don't want to finish it before you've still got a year to go. Now, we're celebrating 70 years of CERN today. So you've not been there all the time, but what would be the greatest achievements, do you think, over that time?
Yes, thank you. Does it work? Yes. Good morning, everyone. Very, very happy to be here today. Thanks for having me, for this invitation. I'm particularly happy to be back to this palace, to this building, because as Véronique Allouin said, I have the honor and privilege of being an associate member of the Belgian Royal Academy, and I've been here already at least a couple of times, so it's a pleasure to be back in this fantastic setting. So, to answer your question, Kathy, first of all, let me say that CERN is a great success for Europe. It's the leading laboratory in the world for high-energy physics and for the technologies that our field needs and develop. And as I used to say, there are not so many domains in science and technology where Europe has leadership, world leadership. So over the past 70 years, I think CERN has really accomplished and gone beyond what our founders wanted us to do. So I remind you that CERN was founded in 1954 on the initiative of a group of visionary politicians and scientists with a dual objective of A, bring back scientific excellence to Europe after the war, so establishing scientific excellence, because during the war many brilliant minds of Europe had migrated elsewhere. And so this already very modern understanding that the recovery of the continent after the war also goes through sustained investment in fundamental research. And second, foster peaceful collaboration between the countries and the people of Europe through science. So again, this very modern vision that science is a glue that can contribute to connecting people in a fractured continent. So today, CERN, 70 years later, is the leader in high-energy physics, and its goal of having people collaborating has extended from Europe to all over the world, because we have a community of more than 17,000 people representing more than 110 nationalities. So over the past 70 years, CERN has been expanding in the four main pillars of its mission. Global collaboration, we said. Science, so here, I could not really go through all the discoveries, measurement, observation that have been done. Of course, I will only mention the last discovery of a new particle, also because, in particular, because François Angler is with us, the discovery of the boson, the H125.
And that really was the man on the moon moment.
That was, yes, I think so. Without neglecting the other wonderful and beautiful particles that CERN has discovered, that boson is such a special particle. First of all, for its feature, its quantum numbers, as we call them in physics, is the simplest and the most complex and perplexing object we have ever discovered. It brings a new type of force, not the four forces we know, it's called Yukawa force. It's related to the Brown-Angler mechanism, which is the mechanism that allowed matter to form in the early universe, and millions of a second after the Big Bang. In other words, without the Brout-Angler-Higgs mechanism and the Higgs boson, we will not be here, because it's the matter we are all made of.
So really, really exciting. And obviously the mission of CERN was fundamental physics. But then, of course, on the way, there's been a lot of spin-off science that has emerged. So many benefits for us all. So what are you most proud of over the 70 years?
There are many related to the fact that our scientific goals are so ambitious that we need to build very complex and sophisticated instruments and to develop cutting-edge technologies, because some of the technologies we need do not exist at the time CERN needs them. So CERN is a driver of innovation also in that respect. So, of course, the most famous are the World Wide Web, which is also related to a Belgian computer scientist, Robert Caillot, who developed the web together with Tim Berners-Lee. Accelerator for treating cancer, the PET scanner and other devices for medical imaging, superconducting materials and magnets for medical and nuclear fusion energy application, and so on. So many, many, many.
And we're going to talk some more about all those sort of things. But let's talk some more about then the role of Belgium in CERN. Because, I mean, we are quite a small country and yet very, very visible within CERN.
Absolutely. So Belgium, first of all, is one of the founding member states. It's been with CERN for 70 years. You said it's a small country, but it's a country with a very strong scientific community. Today, we have about 250 Belgian scientists working at CERN, but the level and the quality is extremely high. Many of them have had and still have very visible position of responsibility, high responsibility. I see also the young generation coming up very well and very fast. So, and I would like to take the opportunity to thank the Belgian government, actually the Belgian governments over the 70 years for their unwavering support to CERN and always their constructive attitude and their help to the flourishment and the development of the lab.
So now discussions are underway to build an even larger collider than the one at the moment, the Future Circular Collider. We're talking about 16 billion euros, I think. A lot of disruption when it's built. It's going to be controversial. How do you justify that to the world at large? What is it going to mean to science and also to society?
Why, I'm not surprised by this question. So first of all, yes, it's larger. But it's not just bigger, it's also much more advanced in terms of technology compared to the Large Hadron Collider, the current flagship project. First of all, 16 billion spread over 15 years, so it's not something that you have to put on the table in a few days, on a few years. So what are the benefits of the Future Circular Collider? First of all, let me underline that China is considering building the same thing, and we know that China usually does not build a project that do not have a very important socioeconomic impact.
So is that part of the reasoning, though, so that Europe can retain the leadership that you have talked about?
Retaining the leadership is very important, I think, for the reason I said before. Second, CERN, I think CERN must have a compelling project for its future, compelling in terms of physics, because the first goal is science, compelling project to survive and to continue to be the leading laboratory it is today. So what are the benefits of SCC? First of all, knowledge. What we are doing has to do with the humankind quest of understanding where we come from and where we are going. We are addressing questions that have to do with how the world and the universe came about, where it will end, where it will go. These are questions that are important to ask and also important to answer. It has to do with us, human being clever beings who want to understand things first. So knowledge per se justifies it, but also clearly the technological development that it will foster, that it will allow, will have impact on all crucial domains of society today, from the digital to environment, from health to security. There are many, many, many topics and many, many needs, and for sure the FCC will continue in that direction. Third point, training and education. At any given time, CERN today is training 4,500 young people, including physicists, engineers and technicians over a broad spectrum of technologies and of fields, domain, that go from civil engineering to robotics, from superconducting materials to cryogenic, vacuum, artificial intelligence, electronics. Only 30% of these young people stay in research in particle physics. All the others go elsewhere in society, industry, other public institutions. So CERN provides society with a continuous flux of highly talented people trained in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, in STEM, and we know that society desperately needs STEM workforce, and trained in a laboratory of excellence and in a truly international environment. So this is one of, in my opinion, one of the most important contributions of CERN to society.
And potentially bringing more women into CERN, because, I mean, that is an issue. You are the first Director General to be a woman, and it is an area that there aren't nearly as many. Let's have a look at the audience, a lot of men. It is just the way it is. So how do we change that?
So first of all, when people tell me, what do you feel about being the first woman being Director General of CERN, my answer is, I hope also not to be the last one. So it's
yes,
will continue in the future.
I agree with that.
Okay. So when I came to CERN in 1996, as you said, the women scientists, we were 8%. Today, we are 15%, 16%. So there has been a lot of progress, but it's not enough. So we have to attract more girls to science, first of all, by making sure that they understand that science is for all. Science is beautiful, science is useful, science is important and necessary if you want to address today's global challenges, from climate change to health, etc. So if they want to engage themselves in this, in helping the world to address those challenges, science is a very good way of doing so. But also at a later stage, we have to make sure that we monitor the careers of men and women, and that we give everyone the same opportunities. And at CERN, we have a system that monitors the advancement every year across all possible categories, women, men, different nationalities, to make sure that we have no bias whatsoever, but also continue to develop infrastructure that help family reconcile a private life with an accomplished professional life. Again, at CERN, we have a nursery and a school which accept kids from 4 months up to 8 years, and so this is very useful also for the parents and particular women.
And also, how do you, I mean, you know, not everybody is a particle physicist, not everybody understands exactly what is happening at CERN. How do you reach out to the public to really help people understand and to really get the public on side?
So I think it's very important that we scientists communicate more and better. Better means in a simple and accessible way. I used to say, because I'm convinced that physics, when we look at the laws of physics at the most fundamental level, which is what we do here at CERN, is very simple. It's very simple, it's very elegant. Even the mathematics of these laws is beautiful. You have seen a few of them on the, in the video. So I think we have to share this passion and this beauty and utility, as I was saying, of science with the public. And CERN, in this respect, we have made a lot of progress recently, because we have inaugurated about a year ago our new flagship center for scientific and education and outreach. It's called the Science Gateway. It's a building complex where we regroup over the same roof different activities, from labs for hands-on activities, immersive exhibitions, and so on and so forth. And in a bit more than a year, we have welcomed more than 430,000 visitors, which shows that there is a genuine interest for science out there, in particular among the young people. So with this project, with the Science Gateway, we want to increase the trust in science in today's society. I was saying before, without science, we go no way. We cannot address and solve the current challenges, and we want to stimulate new, the young people to undertake careers in science.
And I love the fact that you talk about the beauty of science. And just a final, more personal question, really. I know that you are also an accomplished pianist. But I mean, do you find no, I think you are. Don't be modest. But do you find the same beauty
Absolutely.
in science that is in music?
Absolutely.
I mean, is there a link?
There is a very, very strong link. I remember when I switched from humanities and music studies to physics at the level of university, people were telling me, you have changed your your trajectory, you moved from humanities and music to physics, and I said, I didn't move, I stayed in the same thing. You know, music, physics, humanities, they are all part of culture in terms of curiosity, creativity, etc. But also, music has physics foundation, acoustics, and the laws of waves, and physics has, you know, I cannot explain the details, but the law of physics at the most fundamental level are obtained from some symmetry principles. So nature has chosen beauty and aesthetics at its foundation. And there are other links. For instance, think about, you know, in nature, nature shows an extraordinary complexity when we look at the plants, animals, human beings, etc. But this complexity is built on very, very simple laws at the most fundamental level. Similarly, in music, a symphony, Beethoven's symphony is extremely complex, but it's just a combination of 7 notes. So it's this complexity built on simplicity, which is also something that links the two.
A lovely note to finish on. Thank you very much indeed. Fabiola Gianotti, thank you.